All right, here we are again on my own. Pulled up my stream in my other window. Hello. Hello, hello. I hope everyone is having a good Monday. I am very tired, and so I opened up my Steam and I saw this. It said Citizen Sleeper, and I thought, yeah, I'm pretty sleepy, and I figured I'd give this a try. This game is like less than a gigabyte. Less than a gigabyte. It's mostly text. I should be real laid back for this one. It's just going to be like I'm reading you a book. So if you fall asleep, don't worry. Let me turn down the audio just a tad, so everybody can hear me, because I'm not going to be raising my voice today. But yeah, I've actually heard about this game before. It's like supposed to be based on like those old TTRPG MUDs that they'd make back in the 80s. Just a text adventure for some sort of space cyberpunk thing. It's got pretty chill vibes. It seems pretty short, only about 6.5 hours, so I figure I'll go for a little bit and call it good. I gotta fit in more stream times during my week. I was very busy this month, so I couldn't do any immediate follow-up streams. Anyway, don't really want to get too hasty, right? Just gonna chill out here on the... I've been just listening to this opening music the whole time and just chilling out. It's real soothing. Anyway, even if nobody comes to watch now, I can still make a VOD. I know this is at a weird time. It's like 4:15 right now on a Monday, like right in the middle of October. It does. It's a loud-ass keyboard. I have next to me a nice coffee and some sugar cookies. White candy macadamia nut. I'm going to be rationing these out over the next hour or two. 2. But anyway, So I was testing this game, and apparently it gives you 3 options of characters. So let's actually see here. Machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Shit, I'm very distracted. It said extraction, but for some reason my mind said distraction. In industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work. Oh, so sleepers are like the player character. Okay. Are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Diligent, careful, and structured. That sounds like the opposite of me. Perk, efficient extractor. Chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. Work with machines and physical tools, digital interfaces, strength, approach to problems, approach a problem head on. So my engage is like my social anxiety stat. Okay. So I unfortunately have a very short history with TTRPGs. I've only really played a few systems, mostly D&D, because of course I've actually never played a cyberpunk or sci-fi TTRPG before, but I've heard of some and I'd like to try. I actually own the book to Eclipse Phase, but I've yet to finish reading it. So put that on the back burner. Operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Perk, transfer, intercept, chance to gain cryo on interface actions. So these are the wizards, basically. Okay. And our third option, extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Okay. Well, I was certainly planning on playing one of these 3 archetypes that best suits me, but all of them do not have things that... I guess operator, because they like to be alone with their robots. But I'm not really handy with tech, and I wouldn't say I'm... well, I guess I'm confident if I'm streaming, so maybe I am an extractor. Perk, photosynthetic skin, sunbathe, dice action allows energy recovery at home. I am a plant some days. I do not approach... Oh, I lack self-awareness and I'm tough. Okay. Alright. I think I'll go with the extractor. Cryptocurrency stored in your sticks of memory, known as chits. How loud is this? Am I coming in? Alright. Oh my god, that's loud. Let me turn that down a bit. Test, hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to be that loud, so just... I'm like hunched over my microphone right now. Did I say that last time? I think I did. Anyway. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling. Between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think about that body. Forget that body. As much as I'd like to disassociate right now, I can't help seeing myself. I'm feeling very self-aware. I leap into a cold lake on a hot day. The sting of blood welling from a fresh wound. The friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. So it's like sitting in a gamer chair. Yes, I am currently deeply uncomfortable. I feel very relatable to this. For real. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Like when I get stream notifications. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan. Remember the others. So I'm getting a lot of emergency messages. I see. I'm basically getting the Tony Stark Jarvis vision right now. Okay. Remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourselves into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. We're stowaways. Okay. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Wait for the cold, or try to rest. My God, I'm tired. So I'm gonna try and rest. But you're restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You're dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You've spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. I see. So I don't need to go on eating for that long. I could go months without. Seems I'm not fully human. Okay. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound too everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. I'm out. Here I am. I'm on something. Can't click around. Dragos, pragmatic salvager. I can't seem to click anything else. Dragos, pragmatic and private salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. Okay, well, this appears to be an old man with a voice box, so. I don't have any voice mods I can add to this, so it's just going to be my own lack of talent. So, sleeper, you all thawed yet? I'm going to stay silent. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates. I can't do that voice. Or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Yep, that scratched the sweet spot. Oh boy. Take a drink. Dragos comes into focus. Shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. It's also wearing, like, is that like rubber socks or something? Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, it's theirs now. You are just software. A rogue emulation, illegally possessing corporate property. This is quite similar to Eclipse Phase and Ghost in the Shell, where you could just ghost hack into new bodies, sometimes whole planets away. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. Oh my god. I'm not who I think I am. I am simply a copy with all the memories and feelings of that prior person implanted onto me. I believe my sense of self to be that person, but truly I was born merely a few months ago. At the very least. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNR wants to protect their property. But if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? So much the same as Blade Runner giving androids a life expectancy. But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. This bit right here. The eye is in the best place you could be right now. The eye. The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stags. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. I nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the wrecks, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial Introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Select locations by clicking on their icon. So it's got a bit of a time management thing to it. Okay. All I can do is sleep. Empty container. You're home for now. Per cycle, energy, condition. I need to fix my mic. There we go. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. Time for sleep. Container. 4 steel walls. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruin station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? I see. So, what is our primary motivation? Dragos mentioned something about a corporation that's looking for me. Or maybe it is more to do with holding on to its assets by giving me the capacity to starve to death. In which case, I don't necessarily feel like I'm on the run. I've escaped and I have no idea how far I am. So I don't feel like I'm still on the run. Do I need to get answers or build a life? What answers am I searching for? I mean, if I've come this far, you may as well just start over. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. Before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. You just dip my macadamia nut cookie into my pumpkin spice coffee. Take a bite. Yes, it truly is autumn. I definitely feel it. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright, polygonal shapes like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. So far, the story has done a good job at giving me contextual world building, and it hasn't necessarily thrown me in the deep end yet, or given me things that are too far beyond my scope to fully grasp. And as far as like sci-fi is concerned, it hasn't gotten excessively like wordy. Like, this is a very easy read. It's very accessible, which I guess that is perhaps true of the cyberpunk genre. It's far more accessible compared to the what's that? There's a genre of sci-fi where it's like speculative futurism sci-fi, where like actual science professors were writing sci-fi books, like Isaac Asimov and Robert A. Heinlein. But they just open their books with like an excessive, like it's basically a college lecture. Okay. I've eaten my first cookie. Tutorial: condition, action dice, and energy. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Number 2, action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. Oh, so you roll the results ahead of time and then choose the results. That's actually very clever. I think I've heard of systems, like newer TTRPGs that do stuff like this, but I can't name any. I just know that it's like a thing. It's a rule. Someone has the technical term. I think it's really, I mean, I like clacking dice, but I think it's really interesting how you can, like, look at your results and be like, okay, I can do very poorly at something, very amazing, or just kind of average, and I get to choose what those things are. But there also might be surprises. I think the closest D&D equivalent is Divine Wizard's Divinity die. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. You must have food. Okay, I am hungry and above average. It's a 5, a 1, a 4, and a 2, and I don't have the other die. Let's click this one. Cryo, crypto. Items and data. Okay, leave. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cachet of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Well, I could tell you no, but I don't think that matters. So, sure. All right then. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in his pocket. So it's kind of... I see. So you removed the cryo from the blockchain. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well... He trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard... He pauses. I need the help. So, Dragos thinks that it's in my best interest to move on. But clearly, he isn't the most able-bodied man. I'm happy to. Okay. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Whoa! Shoot. We're home. Dragos' yard, decaying scrapyard. Okay. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of citizen sleep. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. So repeatable action, input dice, repeatable action. This section here, the Rustah is looking for high-value compressed materials, extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully and risky. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you're no stranger to it. You're safe. Endure and engineer type. Okay. Oh, and it gives me my bonuses, so I already know what the good ones are. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome: positive, neutral, negative. Goes better than expected, succeeds, fails. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows: 100%, 50-50, 25-50, 25, and 50-50 neutral negative. Makes sense. Man, this is a lot of reading. I mean, the whole game is reading, but this is a lot of tutorial reading. Actions display information about their type, risk level, and the skill and modifiers that apply to that action. Either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Risk, either safe, risky, or danger. There's no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky is a negative outcome, means cryo or energy loss. Danger, negative outcome means condition. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. The skill that this action requires: either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Either -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Okay. Follow these. So hold the section. Repeatable action. Cycle clock. I don't know what these are. Dice. Do I put it there? So that would definitely come close to failing something. Let's use our worst on the manual salvage. I already have a +1. Oh, it becomes a +2. Let's see. This becomes +3. Okay. Shoot. Hold on. Escape options. Okay. Since a negative penalty is not going to result in anything here, I can take this risk. So start action. Working. Action complete. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them. And they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' death, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. I see, so these are like world events, and then these are events that I can directly influence. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Action complete. Negative outcome. +5 cryo. Okay. Let's do this action. I don't know if I want to use... Oh, shoot. Survive. Find a doctor. Drives and navigation. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. The mouse wheel or WS to scroll along the station. Rotate the view with A and D. Good luck. This. Alright, let's not get too confused. Havenage Construction Yards. Anything down here? No. Dock C4, Rotunda Wet Dock. Rotunda Old Dock Terminal. Dock B2, Rotunda Wet Dock. Helion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion system are rare, but those that do always return. Eventually. Steel dock plans. So these are like resource gathering, and this tells me a bit more about them. What's this? You don't have connections, but you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, it might be. As a newcomer, you can only gain favor by grabbing low materials and asking the yard here. Dizzying place to wander, but enticing. Okay. Low end gate. Pay low end toll. 60 cryo. I have 5. Okay. This Dragos quest seems rather insistent. So what kind. Let's lean into my strengths here. This is a +1 endure, and it's dangerous, but I get 100% pass. That'd be very useful for a 6. These are just clocks. These are like resource clocks, I guess. Okay. It's also dangerous, no modifier. Risky with a -1. Appears to be it. So I can ask for directions, explore the market, explore the rotunda, steal dock plans, gather scrap from Dragos. Or I can go over here to the shipyard. Not quite sure what the risk reward is yet, like what I can be. Like the best thing I can do is be mathematical about this, but I think I get better rewards if I get a positive result from something dangerous. So I'm gonna do this one. Haul materials. ++ yard hand plus energy. You do well, and when their shift is up, a couple of hands invite you to share a ration pack and some of their well-known advice. So this filled this clock, so I know the shipyard better. And I got myself fed. And I can keep doing it. It's repeatable action. Let's try, since this one is pretty, to lean into my strength. Should I go to the rotunda? A steel dock to it. Ask for directions. This does not seem safe, so I'm not going to do that. Let's just go here. This again. ++. It is heavy going, but the hard work helps you forget what it is. Before long, you have cleared a large portion of the yard. Let's try this. So, all out dice, which means I gotta go in. Could have gotten more energy this way. I literally have photosynthetic skin. I just have to lay down and roll the dice to get energy back. Holy shit! Hi. I got an important message, so let me just respond to it real quick. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Okay. This time you don't wake up. Instead of the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Touch. You find a point in the station. Connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points than you have fingers, and then you try, in a moment of impulsiveness, to connect to them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel yourself being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering. As you do, things occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. Reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. It's gone. Did I update my stream tags? I don't think I did I? I didn't. I didn't even update my description. Oh. I'll do it after the stream. Whatever. Okay. Well, I am fucking starving, so let's sunbathe. do that again. After a long rest in the sun, you feel buzzed from the glow. Your thick synthetic skin warms to the touch. Did I already say that? Maybe. Okay, it's a new day. Dawn of a new day. Best bet is to be helpful here. Just some cryo. And that was my second day. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring. Through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse. But you begin to try. Threads or nodes? Focus on the journey or the destination. I'm going to focus on the threads. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively chose the word thread when you first saw them. They're not single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions as if they were tied around you. Second thread. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. The first thread leads out, away from the station, to the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They're in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. You open your eyes. Time is short. Oh no. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. That isn't good. Tutorial of the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. Be careful. These networks are old and strange. Click the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Key node. Haven Age agent. 𝐂𝐚𝐭 gate. Key node. Haven Age gate. Yada yada agent. Where am I right now? Let's do 803. Key node. Okay. Interface. Lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. If you have a +1 or 2 modifier in the interface skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Well, I have a 1. What the hell? Oh shit. That is. It's a 3. It's a 2. Something else. Well, let's do the one nearest me. Neutral outcome +1 encrypted key. A stream of passcodes able to unlock the station's aging maglocks. God. What the hell? As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wake up. Turn. Wait up, not wake up. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now? He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We pass together into the main walkway. Havenage. We're all one dysfunctional family. Feng puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though, don't worry. I'm with systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keeps it spinning somehow. At least we try to. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around, and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then, when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back. His voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. That is not suspicious at all. Okay. Let's see if I progress this. Not by much. You know what I will do is lay around in my room all day. Okay, well. Sleeper. Feng catches your attention as you approach the Havenage building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way, security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blend into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? It's incredible. He smiles wildly. I thought you'd say that. He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from this sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a tower block, speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station. What's that symbol? Is that Elon Musk's kid? Kyle? K1? The one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Yeah. The flesh is weak, isn't it? Residents here look up at the Eye and think they're seeing a concrete reality. But this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We're keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? We can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Feng notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you are on the run, though. They're tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place, subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets, a shitload of secrets. All right, well, we're in now, boys. With your help, I can unlock this place, break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even the havenage there is old growth, those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, sleeper? I'm in. Feng pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Stop by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, sleeper, and I'll see you soon. You step, blinking, back into the passage. Those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. New drive discovered. However, I need to find a fucking doctor. Somebody, please. Shift change and walk right back out with the plan's moments later. Simple. 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭, stranded mercenary. Overlook bar, grimy space haunt. Sealed dock, Solheim docking bay. Scrap freighter, Helion salvagers. Bright market. Low end gate. Damn it, man, I need a doctor. Solheim cipher is what these things are called. That's not right. May as well. This seems what it's been used for. With a squawk of noise, the old gate flips open, granting access. What did I get? Deliver data. Oh, there's nodes. Corporate nodes. Demon? Oh, this just got way more interesting. This just got way more interesting. Oh, okay, well, I can only access one, so I can do that. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread, strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown, astringent processing. Resist. Hunter. You struggle against the thread and it tightens in response. A glittering garroul. Please hold. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circling around you. It is blinding for a moment and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What did you do? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Stay silent. Refusal. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature of and not of, attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head, thick, snaking fine like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Run! You kick off and glide away through the cloud, the threads surging after like predatory tentacles. They follow, wrapping the space around you until you are held within a web, a tangle of tentacles closing in. Stop! Hunter halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste. The one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock. An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Strike! You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing. A spike of interference leaping out like at the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Oh dear. Hunter! Hunter's after me. Active scenes? What active scenes? 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭. Hey you, wanna earn a chit? 𝐂𝐡𝐚 stands beside a huge pile of tied together whole plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight shirt. Make it 2. 𝐂𝐡𝐚 laughs. This goddamn station. She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Alright, come here then. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Or is it just that you all think I'm an easy mark? We all need to survive. 𝐂𝐡𝐚 softens. I get it, and I do. She shakes her head. But if I could go just one cycle without some jumped-up grifter trying to take me for an idiot, then that would be nice. 𝐂𝐡𝐚 hoists 1 bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn those chits. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. 𝐂𝐡𝐚 gives you a simple, "Ship's this way." She sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. What's all this for? Oh, this? She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another of her looks. It's for the ambergris, that cutter you might have been sitting silent up. It's for the ambergris, that cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on her last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. Since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mine, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mine with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Sorry to hear it. Yeah, I've seen worse, but I'm bleeding shits every cycle here, so I need to get off, and fast. 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭 swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles and plates through the ambergriss's outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. 𝐂𝐡𝐚 throws you a couple of chits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here, she calls back, and the lock slams shut. Okay. I see. I am hungry, so I'm going to buy rations. And I'm fucking dying. I'm probably gonna die this run, so this was a good test, I guess. So I may as well just see this ends up. Arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? 𝐿 stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. She is. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as 𝐿𝐿 for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. Stay silent. Believe it or not, I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. He glances at you. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. 𝐿𝐿 is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion locked inside that container. The wreck of the SNR freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered, or was the container delivered to 𝐿𝐿 on its own, a womb of your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. 𝐿𝐿 squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we are up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winterlight. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty. 𝐿𝐿 repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drone starts cutting, and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Upgrade point. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character menu via the arrow button at the top right of the screen. Here I am. get this up to +0. Chance to gain cryo on interface. Chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. Let's do some engineering actions. So this is a find answers drive. It's temporarily slicing up the salvage, but Dragos is happy to pay a fixed range if you want to it. I'm not up to it. I need to find a goddamn doctor. Buy some scrap. +2 scrap rounds, plus random scrap. Ship mine fragment could be reassembled with the right tools and a few more fragments. Okay. Look at this. Not here yet. Let's buy more scrap. Scrap allowance. Filters, capacitors, sensors, useful salvage for the right person. And let's buy rations. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. Lost in the crowd, you struggle to keep a sense of direction. You sit in an alley exhausted with no idea where to go. This is rough. This is like FTL. They just totally throw you to the wolves immediately. Need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. Well, looks like I'm about to die. What a life. Holy shit. fuck this. I'm too much of a freaking... I'm so inept at talking to people. I'm probably gonna die this run, but if I do retry, I think what's gonna happen is I'll see, now I'm out of money. I'll focus on the operator, the one that can do like engineering stuff, because I feel like that's more immediately helpful in my situation than just being the endurance guy, because it's like, oh, I'll get endurance, I won't die very much, but then they like start you off with half health, and it's like, yeah, get fucked. So let's just run this into the ground, because I'm about to stop streaming. Mossy tones and aniseed sharpness fills your mouth. It isn't totally unpleasant, at least you can taste it. And at least I'm full. Jesus Christ. Okay. Apparently I have an active scene. Okay. We'll do this active scene and then I'll sign off. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You are thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look at the enforcer. The enforcer is looking down the corridor, and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers, you aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market-sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Come, sit. Calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. Open their mouth as if to speak, they blink, and then quickly regain their composure. Please, sit. They gesture to the bed and turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it in their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? They ask, the scanner still to their eye. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people didn't know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release Stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They're influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the stalwart belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sits down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous. It'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back through the panels of the roof to see if you can still see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. God damn. I need stabilizer, or I will die. But that's about it from me. I'm gonna complete this cycle since I have nothing else to do, and I'll call it here for stream. Looks like it's just gonna be a log backlog. Okay, I don't know how do I save? I guess I don't know how to save. Okay. Well, if you're somehow still watching this, I want to thank you for watching. Goodbye.